Pappy's back this week with the part 2 of Freddy the Ford getting his cooling system upgrade. We're also replacing the timing belt and water pump because the water pump was leaking. There's a bunch of videos on that, so I'm not going to really key on that very much. We'll just blow through that. I'll put it through fast motion. But I will, get a little bit more detailed on the fan shroud. We had started that in last week's episode, and we're going to complete that. And we'll continue on with that and just watch me work. Okay, we're going to do this fan shroud. We started a couple of bolts last time, but we're going to take this back apart. I got to get the plastic off and get it ready to put in. You just got to put it in, fill it up with coolant, and wire it. Wire the fan control. And I'll take you through all of that. You can do this with any car. As long as you get a way to mount a coolant temp sensor, and they sell them on the web. Pretty much all of them. I know most cars, some of the emission-wise, they'll run them a bit hotter than. I don't like them to go much over 200 before the fan cuts on. But from the factory, I had a car that wouldn't cut the fan on until 225. It was an 85 IROC Z. And I always thought it was a little hot. And I think they did have a program to change it, but I never carried it back to the dealer. Okay, let's get this razor knife and get this coating off. And put this dude on. Neat thing about this is you can fit it with the plastic on. It saves you from scratching it up. The sign guys knew what they were doing when they made this. That paint on these things is unbelievable. It's really strong. If you don't like the color, although they come in a lot of different colors, but if they don't have your color, that paint makes a wonderful primer. So you can paint it whatever you want. It doesn't, it's got some kind of DTM on it, that paint. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what it is, but it seems to accept spray cans and stuff without any problem. So I mean, it doesn't react. Let's see, this plastic's so old it doesn't want to come off. This stuff's 15 years old since I made this thing for, or bought the aluminum. We're repurposing it for this thing. All right, we're going to turn this off for now. It's going to take a while to get this stuff off. Okay, we did get the plastic off there. It is older. It was hard to get off because of the age of it, I think. Plus it's cold in this shop, so I had to find a heat gun. I spent more time looking for the heat gun than I did getting the plastic off. But it is what it is. We'll continue on. Here's the door edge guard. And I wanted to put that along these edges to protect the radiator. So we're going to fit that and stick that on like so. Hopefully this goes the way I plan. And it looks like it is. Here lately, some things haven't. I've used this stuff before over the years for all different kind of things. Get a pair of dikes to cut that. Okay. There. That one's on there. Let's do it again. Well, I thought it was going to cut. There it goes. Gave me a little bit of trouble there. Okay. It's kind of flimsy, but I think once this is bolted up, at least in theory, that's what I'm hoping for. Let's see. See if she lines up. So far, so good. It's a little tight. Okay, let's see if we can come up with some screws that will hold this dude. These look a little better, I think. Alright, let me get a multi-tool to tighten up that Allen wrench. I think these are the ones I'm wanting. They're serrated edges, and they look like they'll stay tight. We might better flip those around. I like that smooth head to the inside. I know they look prettier on the outside, but at least it won't be sticking out as far. I don't want it rubbing the radiator. Functionality is more important than beauty. At least when you're getting a work rig. Okay. Now let's find one of these that fits. No, it's bigger than that. That's it. All right. We'll hold that and tighten it up with a wrench. My workbench is full of lawnmowers right now, so that's why we're using the bed of the truck. Okay, that's on there. We're still debating on this third piece. We'll see how it looks on the radiator. Let's see. We may mark that then. I don't know. I think she might be all right like that. Although, might cut down on some vibration. Same up here. We're going to put some holes through there. All right. Let's lay this out. Well, it's hard to work out of the bed of this truck leaning over, but I'm kind of trapped. Let's see where we want to mark. And we'll mark here. And we'll drill us a 1/4-inch hole. I wonder if it'd be better to drill a couple more, put me 4 more bolts. I know it ain't made for it, but it would probably, because if you look at this, it's not as strong as I thought it was going to be. I don't want that rattling, making a bunch of racket. So we'll do that. and spins free. Looks like it will. Yep. No drags there. Although it probably wouldn't hurt to put a couple of washers onto that, space that back a little bit just to keep the nuts off of that radiator. I can't really see up in there. Let me get my flashlight. We're close. I should have made that stick back. I just wanted to keep it tight and out of the way of everything, which I had plenty of room. I could have put a 1-inch lip on it instead of a 1/4 inch. That's what I should have done, but it'd give it more room to vibrate. So I guess that's what I was thinking. I can't see it. You can't see it. Let's pull it back up. I don't want to chance it. I could put a spacer under it. Let's see what we got. It's not hidden, but just to be on the safe side. We are close. I'm going to go back with that edge guard down here just to keep it spaced, I think. here's where we're at. Everything else is done. We just got to wire up the fan. We got to ground this wire. We know this one goes to positive. We have to use a relay, which basically a relay is just a remote control switch. And all these 4-pin relays, 4 or 5 pin, but this one's a 4, they're all laid out the same way. You have the 3 terminals that are pointing north and south, and then you got the one that's pointing east and west. The power coming in, the power that you're controlling, this is straight battery power. This comes straight from the battery, or wherever you choose to hook it up. This goes to the fan. This is what's going to turn the fan on. These are the controls for the remote control. Now this coolant temp sensor, if you can see that, it applies a ground. So you pick one of these, it doesn't really matter, the other 2 that are left. Well, they got a black wire. Let's just make it simple. In this case, the black wire goes to ground, which will go to the sensor. Apparently they're grounding, they have to ground the cooling sensor because it's not grounded to the body because it's in rubber hoses. So that's the whole point of this. I'll have to reroute that. But the white wire is the power that comes from the ignition switch. Wherever you get it, when ignition switch is on, you want it to power up the relay, and then it's powered up, but it won't come on until it gets ground from here. So when this reaches 200 degrees, it grounds this relay, turns on the fan, cools it off. When it gets down to 185, it cuts off, it opens. So then the fan cuts off. Simple. It's just a remote control switch. That's all these things are. So with that said, just watch me work. Self-tapping screw. Oh man, so much for the self-tapping screw. They gave me one. See if I can find it. Humble fingers. Let's see. Maybe it's there. I can't see it. I think it's gone, but we'll try a magnet. This is why I can't ever get anything done. I'm such a klutz. We did get it. Thank you, Lord. That wasn't on my part. That was the good Lord gave me that back. Now, you just see if we can get this drilled through before I drop it again. Maybe I better get a drill. Let's just drill a pilot hole. These trucks. back on the good part of it. Don't push as hard. Okay, now the self-tapper should go in theory. Like I said, that was in theory. Okay. Give me that relay. Let's get that bolted up before I drop it again. Okay. Okay. And we'll just plug this dude up like that. White wire, I've got to find 12-volt ignition. The red wire goes to the battery, and it is fused. You can see it's got like a 30 amp fuse in there. So hopefully that fan don't pull anywhere near that. But they're going for the maximum, I guess, so it don't blow. Alright, and we'll just make us a loop for this and bolt it to the battery, just like that. This one we got to find a 12-volt power source. This one, we need a ground. We'll just run it back to there. That'll ground it. And then run that wire from there. Nah, we don't need to run a wire that far. We'll just cut that off and ground it. Yeah, that'll be the ground. And then we'll have to ground this separate. I'm not running that wire all the way over there for that. Okay. So we can run the fan motor and that wire both to the same ground and probably put something here. Although it didn't provide that. We'll come up with something. I'd say that's grounded. Okay. This is the hot power. Goes here to feed this relay, which will in turn feed the fan. Let's go underneath all this. Okay. And we want to get a piece of heat shrink and go over that. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna heat that up and melt a little bit of solder. If I can do this with one hand. I'll try. I don't think this is gonna work too well. I need something to hold that. Maybe I can do it. I think we got it. Okay, soldered. Now let's get the heat shrink. Oops, it's too hot. Have to get another piece. Go over top of that one. Let's see if we got a little bit bigger. I think we got some in here. Is this open? Hey. It's either gonna be that one or that one. I hope to go over it. Yeah. Okay. So you're up. You see that help keep down corrosion, especially being right here at the battery. Probably could have picked a better place, but it's easy right here. Might as well use it. Okay, and that's a 1/4 inch bolt.
Start.
Okay, there's a change of plan. We have got a big storm coming in, a winter storm, and I need to any kind of rain at all will trap my truck down here, and it hasn't rained all day. So I think I can get it up there. It did rain yesterday, but I think I can get it up there. I take it up now, so I need to fill this thing up with coolant, and I'll worry about the wiring. And I'll do that in the garage upstairs. So just watch me work. We'll put this dude back down where it was at. Okay, there's no ground there. So, with that said, we got to run this to the fan. We got to run a ground wire to the other side, substantial ground back to the chassis. Somewhere in this cross member will probably work. Maybe over here. Probably use that bolt right there. We'll do that. We'll run this. We zip tied this up to get it up here. Just clip that. Okay, we'll run the black wire to the chassis ground. We're going to call it up, straight up and over. So we'll both of these together to here, and then we'll separate. The blue wire will go over, and we'll pick up this ground wire. We got to run a ground wire to it too. So, yeah, let's do that. We got to ground this so it can ground that. So, that's not heavy enough, I don't think, for that. I don't think that's going to be a heavy enough ground. We may not have heavy enough wire. We may run 2 strands to ground that fan motor. I just don't want to chance it. I don't have anything heavy enough. So that's what we'll do. We'll run double strands. Make sure it's grounded. This looks like it's only 16 gauge wire, and it's got, looks like 14 on the fan. So it might be okay, but I'm not going to chance it. I don't want to burn out the motor due to not getting enough amperage flow due to improper wiring. So we'll twist these 2 together. Make sure we got enough here over to here. We decided we'll put it there. as you can see, cooling fan is working. It came on at about 200 like I programmed it, which is about the R in normal was about 200 degrees, which is about the center of the gauge. And now it's cooling down. It should shut off at 185. I'm gonna guess it's probably around the N in normal. Took it a while to come on. I had to drive it around the neighborhood several times because it's sleeting now, so it's hard to get this thing up to temperature. There, she just cut off. So the N in normal is 185. The R in normal is 200. So I'm calling that a success. Well, until next week, please give us a thumbs up. We could sure use it. And please subscribe to the channel.